Human evolution, lesson number 14. Chapter, what are we going to learn actually? So in the history of the universe, the origin of life is indeed a unique event. So how a life started, the origin of life, how it was started, it was a unique or a special event. A number of theories with regard to the origin of life have been put forward. So there were many theories which have been put forward regarding this origin of theory. How really did the life start? So there were a number of theories explaining each one. According to one such theory, so in those many number of theories, one such theory was theory of special creation. Origin of life on earth was due to a supernatural event, namely the creation of the world and the human beings called Adam and Eve. So in those number of theories, one such special theory was theory of special creation. In that theory is explaining about how the world was created. So creation means creating something. So how the world was created, how the first human beings called Adam and Eve were created. So from them how life has started. So that is one theory. But in our study, in our topic here, in our lesson today, we will be focusing on the autogenesis theory of the origin of life. So autogenesis theory of the origin of life based on the theories given by two people, Lamarck and Charles Darwin. Okay, so in this lesson we will be learning about we will be discussing about the theories what these two great persons Lamarck and Darwin have explained us. Okay, so we will also study in brief about the evolution of humans and our ancestors. So today's topic we will learn how what were the theories given by these two persons, Lamarck and Darwin, and also we will be learning about how evolution have been started and how human evolution and about all our ancestors we will be going through. Many years the common belief was that the earth and all that is present on it were spontaneously created by God. So for many years it was a common belief. So everybody were believing that the earth, what is present, all the things what are present on the earth were all created by God. The implication of this belief was that all the species present on the earth had been there from beginning and were unchanged. So why did we believe that? Believe in this way? Why there was a common belief that everything was created by God? Why? Because everything from the beginning it was in that way and it is unchanging. It did not change. So everything was like a continuous process. Everything what has started or what was created was being continued. However, according to the autogenesis theory of the origin of life, life is said to have originated from non-living organic matter. So if we are learning about this autogenesis theory, about this in this chapter, we will be learning that how life has started from something which was a non-living organic matter. Okay, so in the first paragraph it is giving us the explanation that it was a common belief that everything was so directly life was created by God itself. But here in autogenesis theory they are telling us that how life was produced or invented or discovered from something which was a non-living organic matter. Okay, so the origin of life is said to have originated from the non-living organic matter. Several scientific theories have been put forward to explain this organic evolution, but the prominent ones among them are, so many scientists have been working about these theories. Many scientific theories were put forward, but among them we are going to learn the main important ones. Those are theory of inheritance of acquired characters and the theory of natural selection. Okay, so in this chapter we will be learning about these two important theories. It has been agreed that the origin of life was a gradual process, a result of a series of physical and chemical changes in accordance with the ever-changing environmental conditions. So it has been agreed that when the origin of life has been started or originated, everything, all these physical changes, chemical changes, everything comes into that. Okay, so whenever there is a physical or a chemical change or some environmental condition, there will be a change in the individual also. Okay, Also, there is sufficient evidence to prove that complex higher organisms have evolved from simple lower forms. So, there are also evidences, there are also proofs that the complex higher forms, that is the higher animals or the higher organisms are evolved from the simpler forms. Okay, now when we learn about the cell lesson, we learn that every individual starts its life with a single cell. Okay, so even if it is a biggest animal, that is the elephant or whatever, also that elephant also should start its life from a single cell itself, a simple form. Okay, so all the higher forms, so there are many evidences and proofs that all the higher forms of life have been evolved from simple forms. Okay, simple and lower forms. So what is evolution? What is the definition of evolution? Evolution is a slow and continuous process whereby complex forms of life have emerged from simpler forms through millions of years. Okay, so what is evolution? Evolution doesn't happen in one step. Okay, evolution doesn't occur in one step, or in the next generation we can't see the evolution. Okay, so evolution is a slow and continuous process whereby the complex forms of life have emerged or evolved from the simpler forms of life. Then, theories of evolution. So, French biologist, who was he? Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck. Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck came out with an evolutionary theory and proposed that the driving force behind this evolution was the inheritance of acquired. So, this person have focused mainly on this theory that all the evolution have occurred because of inheritance of acquired characters. So that was his main point. In other words, organisms change physically as they struggle to meet the demands of their changing environment. So what is this theory explaining? Inheritance of acquired. So from where did they acquire? Acquiring means what? Gaining something. Okay, so from where did they acquire that character? So here it is explained that organisms have acquired those characters by themselves because of the changing environment. So because the environmental conditions were changing, due to that the individuals, the organisms also have started changing themselves. Okay, so in other words, organisms change physically as they struggle to meet the demands of their changing environment. Such advantageous changes influenced by the environment are passed on to their offspring. So, if that organism, that present organism which is present on the earth, if it is having some changes in its own body because of the environmental changes, those same changes will be continued or passed on to its offspring also. Yes or no? Now for example, we had some changes in our body. Because of this environmental condition or something, there was some change in our body. So, and that same change will be continued into our offspring also. Okay, that acquired character will be continued or carried forward into the offspring. That is called, that theory is explaining here about this inheritance of acquired characters. Okay. So here the classic example given by him was that of evolution of giraffe. So this person took the example of a giraffe. Okay, how a giraffe have been evolved. Okay, next, an English scientist, Charles Darwin, proposed another idea regarding the evolution of life known as the theory of natural selection or Darwinism. So this person, the other scientist what we are talking about is Charles Darwin. He has explained about how the life have been evolved through another theory called as theory of natural selection. Theory of natural selection. So because this person have discussed about that theory of natural selection is also called as Darwinism. So what is this theory telling us? According to this theory, organisms reproduce at a faster rate, resulting in a fierce competition for food and space. So all the individuals here, all the organisms here, they reproduce in a faster rate. they reproduce for themselves, give birth to or give rise to offsprings. In that way there is a competition for food and space. So all the organisms which are newly reproduced, all will be fighting for the food and the space provided there. Okay, this creates a struggle for existence in which every individual is fighting for survival. So here what happens, each and every individual are fighting for that food and space. Okay, so struggle for existence. Existence means what? To survive. So each and every individual there are struggling for their own existence, struggling for their own survival. There is considerable variation between individuals, and some individuals are better adapted to the environment than the others. Now when we have learned about the genetics chapter, we have seen that even if two children who are belong to the same family will not have same characters. So no, there will be changes. So those changes are nothing but called as variations, we have learned. Okay, now in all these individuals who are fighting for that, who are struggling for that existence, will have their own variation. There will be variation from one individual to another. Okay, in the same way some individuals can adapt to the environmental changes, whereas some others cannot. Okay, so that is what here it is given. Now within a species there is a considerable variation between individuals, and some individuals are better adapted to the environment than the others. So some are adapted to the environment but some are not adapted. Okay, now for example, if there is a climatic change suddenly, some of us will get some cold or cough or so. Some do not. Why? Because they are able to adapt to that environmental change. Others, those who are tend to get that cold, cough and all, they are not able to adapt to that environment. Like that. Okay. As a result, these individuals will be more likely to survive than the others. So those who are able to survive to that condition, those who are able to adapt to that condition, that change what have taken place in the environment, they will be able to survive, whereas others will not be able to survive. So those who are able to adapt perfectly to that change, they are able to survive. Others, they are not able to survive. So that is why that is known as survival of the fittest. These individuals are most likely to reproduce and pass on their good qualities to their offspring. So these individuals who are having this capacity, or those who are able to adapt themselves, so that means they are having some good quality or good immunity, that is why they are able to adapt to the changes. Okay, so those good qualities only will be passed on to their offsprings also. When the reproduction occurs, those good qualities only will be passed on to the offspring. This process is called as natural selection. That is, Darwin stated that nature selects the fittest and rejects the weaker individuals. So that is why this theory is named as natural selection. That is, the nature itself is selecting the good ones. The nature itself is selecting the fit ones, and the weaker individuals are being eliminated or rejected at that time. So Lamarck proposed his idea of evolution on the basis of his studies on the patterns of fossils and matching the organisms to their environment. So how did this person propose his theory? How did he propose his theory? He proposed his theory by studying the fossils. What are fossils? Remnants of plants and animals which were present in ancient times or in olden times. Okay, so the remnants. So that time when the plants and animals have died, there were some parts of those organisms left over. So by studying that, the person is able to know what kind of organism it was. So this person, Lamarck, proposed his theory mainly by studying these fossils and matching the organisms to their environment. So after finding out what kind of organism was that, he is able to know what kind of environment was there at that time and how did this animal adapt to that kind of environment. Okay, so he compared living species with fossil forms and found that there exists a series of older to younger fossils leading to the present day living species. So after finding out those organisms from the fossils, he started comparing the living species, what species are present now, he started comparing with those fossil forms. Then when he had compared the fossil forms with the living species, he came to understand that there are some features, some characters which have been following from that fossil form to the present day living species. Clear? Okay, he compared the living species with fossil forms and found that there exists a series. Series means a continuous. Okay, a series of older to younger fossils leading to the present day living species. So he was able to see few characters which are being carried from those fossil form to the present day living species. Okay, so he explained his findings using the following two principles that were widely accepted at that time. Okay, so he explained his theory mainly giving two principles. He explained all his theory in two main principles. So that we are going to discuss now. What are those? Use and disuse and inheritance of acquired characters. Each principle in detail. Use and disuse, it states that parts of the body that are used extensively become larger and stronger, while those that are not used deteriorate. Deteriorate means it becomes functionless. So here what is he explaining in use and disuse? In use and disuse, he is telling that there are some body parts which we keep on using them extensively, they become more larger and more stronger, and the body parts which we do not use them, they become functionless. He explained this by taking the example. So how did he explain this principle? He explained this principle by taking the example of a giraffe. Lamarck suggested that the giraffe evolved from ground feeding herbivores, but at a later stage the area fell short of its ground level vegetation, and thus the giraffe took a feeding from trees. So what is in his theory, in his explanation, in this example of the giraffe, he is telling that the giraffe was actually a ground feeder, that is ground level feeder, that is it used to feed the grass which is present on the ground, the herbs, shrubs and etc. So as in a later stage, as the years passed by, there was a shortage of all the ground level vegetation. Then the giraffe started feeding on trees, the leaves which are present on the trees, and thus the giraffe took to feeding from trees. Constant stretching of its neck and forelimbs over many generations resulted in these structures becoming longer and stronger as to reach the higher foliage leaves. So as the giraffe started eating all the leaves, because there was a shortage for the ground level vegetation, the giraffe started eating the leaves which are present on the trees, and as it gave much strength to the neck and the forelimbs, after many generations this forelimbs and the neck became much larger and stronger, and now it is able to reach the even higher foliage leaves. Foliage leaves means these are the new leaves which are being formed. So even these higher foliage leaves it is able to reach. And the second principle here what Lamarck is explaining is about inheritance of acquired characters. How these characters are being, whatever characters are being acquired, how it is being followed from one generation to another. It stated that an organism could pass its modifications to its offspring. So here he is telling that in this inheritance of acquired characters, he is stating or he is explaining that all the characters are being, or all the modifications which have been taken in one generation, all the modifications which have been occurred in an individual in one generation, it is being continued, or it is being given to its offspring. Lamarck postulated that the long muscular neck and forelimbs of the living giraffe were passed on to them by their ancestors, and the same characters will continue to appear generation after generation. So in this principle of inheritance of acquired characters, Lamarck is helping us to understand, or Lamarck is postulating that all the characters of the giraffe what is present now, the present giraffe is having, that it is having a long and muscular neck, how it is having, so it had got this long and muscular neck from its ancestors. So in the olden time, in the ancestral stage, how the giraffe were ground feeders, how there was a shortage, and how they gave much strength to the neck and the forelimbs, and now the present generation. So those modifications are being able to, so the present giraffes have got all these modifications from their ancestors, and this same modifications will be definitely carried from one generation to the other generation in the future also.